All right, YouTube, it is Mr. Mean coming at you today. I've got a doozy. So, I got back from Gamehole Con about 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks now? 2 weeks. And had an absolute blast. Ran into my buddy Jason Hobbs, review of Bite the Bullet coming soon. Uh, but I wanted to talk about, and I highlighted this on my swag that I got from Gamehole Con, but I wanted to take the time to talk a little bit about DarkSpace, sci-fi rules for Shadowdark. Now, Shadowdark is all the hotness right now. While OSR type games are not my jam, D&D type games are not necessarily my jam. I tend to go the indie route, although I am a big Pathfinder Second Edition fan, but I'm kind of burnt out on it right now. So I got a chance to play this at Gamehole Con in a super secret, private, exclusive gameplay with one of the designers, Thane Gibson, and his buddy Derek White. I think Derek was at the convention, but he wasn't at our table at the time. And I got to play with a couple of other guys, some of the guys from Castles and Crusades, and Scott from Arcanea Woodshop, which made my super awesome GM screen and dice tower. Go support him if you can. I got to. I basically had a blast. I'm not a huge Shadowdark fan. I don't own the book. I never got a review copy. I was supposed to interview the young lady from Shadowdark. I don't remember her name. I'm sorry. I'm a bad person. But our schedules couldn't line up, and it kind of took off. And from my understanding, she's kind of, I don't want to say a recluse, but she's really not big into the limelight and stuff like that. So it worked out kind of well. Really wasn't a game that I wanted to focus on here on my channel, and I know I do a lot of that to my detriment of my channel, but I'm not looking to get 100,000 subscribers and make $1 million, because who wants to do that? That sounds boring and so gauche that we would never do that. But Thane was an absolute blast of a GM, and when I told him I ran a YouTube channel and my buddy Scott got me into the game, once he confirmed that was going to happen, Thane was nice enough to give me the book. So Thane, thank you so much. And then on top of that, he autographed it for me, and he put his email on the bottom so that I can email him to set up an interview, which I am going to do. I'm going to email him probably today, and hopefully that interview will come up soon. But I guess evidently he does the DMing the World, which is his gaming company, him and Derek White's. First things I want to point out is this is a perfect bound glued spine. It is completely black and white with black and white gray art. No AI art that I am aware of. There is no wasted space in this book. I do not know a price for this. Like I said, in all fairness, it was given to me not for review. He gave it to me just because I had such a good time. I got to play a robot, and he even had pre-generated characters, and I love it because the character fit on a standard sheet of paper with room on the back and on the inside for notes. That's the character sheet right there. That's the whole character sheet. You're done. You're ready to play. So I had a absolute blast. We did a casino heist, high roller, and we were going to steal some ship parts. Helios was the corp government, which I was a former security bot for, or war bot, whatever you want to call it. My name is HE7M, but of course I go by the name of Helm. And I was a machine-based enforcer, Helios enforcer android. We were third level. I had a whopping AC of 14 and 10 hit points. My stats were, my most amazing stat was a 16 of dexterity of +3. I had some gear, and I had some talents and traits that were based on my class, basically, and my race. And of course, it included a very cool image. So I got to keep the character sheet, which I kept with the book. The neat thing about this is if you get this, it's on a high gloss cardboard or heavy, like 90 weight, 120 weight stock paper, and it's glossy. So you could write on this with a wet erase or dry erase marker and it would wipe right off. So I thought that was super cool. It is a whopping 81 pages. Uh, Art by Thane Gibson and 3E Shields or JE Shields. The logo was designed by Bob Hoskins, and then there's a bunch of other people in here. But I gotta say, I was thoroughly impressed. Some of the art, I don't want to bend the pages too much because it's a glued spine and it will break. Um, the art is you can play. There's all kinds of archetypes. This is OSR, D20, basically Shadowdark with a sci-fi setting. So if you have the core rulebook of Shadowdark and you pick this up, you can play Shadowdark Sci-Fi or Dark Space, excuse me. And it is a science fiction core rules for Shadowdark. So I'm assuming I didn't get a chance to talk to Thane too much, but I am assuming that this is fully licensed by the people at Shadowdark. Um, the first page is literally a list of weapons and then armor and astrogation, body, mind, and soul. Your triad dice rolls. So basically, easy, normal, hard, and extreme, or DC 9, 12, 15, and 18, respectively. Uh, this is just really neat. There's an overview. You got your species, your androids, your archetypes, backgrounds, motivations, reputation, bounty, the triad, gear, starfaring, jobs and salvage, upgrades, denizens, carousing, and credits, and a spacer sheet, which is obviously what's on the back here. So no space is left unused. You have quick archetypes or archetypes, so you can get to playing. I mean, moments after you buy this book, if you know the basic Shadow Dark rule set, it's a minimalist rule set, D20 based. You can be up and running in literally 2 minutes. You got to roll 2d6 for some talents, and then you're good to go. Uh, I He ran the adventure. There's a ton of random charts in here. He ran uh, basically. I'm trying to find. There's weapons, starfaring, failures and mishaps, space hazards, ship combat, ship modification. I mean, this is a full role playing game tucked into 81 pages, which I thought was amazing. There's jobs and salvage. Salvage is obviously what it sounds. Scrapping salvage allows spacers to a chance to earn a bit more credits from the junk they find. Jobs come from all manner of sources, legitimate and not so legitimate. So you can do your standard, adventures, but he rolled our starting adventure from beginning to end. And it came out to be a heist. And he got some NPCs and everything. And man, I'm telling you, it was so much fun. Now, I don't care how good your RPG is, how amazing the mechanics are. No game, I don't care how amazing it is, can jump off the shelf and run itself. The game is 20% rules, 80% GM. If your GM is enthusiastic, if he's knowledgeable of the system, if he or she is creative and spontaneous, I think those are all the earmarks, and empathetic. Uh, those are all the earmarks of a great GM. And Thane was all of those things and more. He did a great job of running us. We felt vested in the adventure. We wanted to make money. Now, we had a group of reprobates, to say the least. And it was so fun to play with Scott because, like I said, Scott and I have become really good friends over on my Discord, and he makes awesome wood products, the GM screen, gaming tables. His stuff is wood is not cheap. The labor is not cheap. I think a standard gaming table will cost you about $2,000. His GM screens run about $300, but I'm telling you, you can stop a 45 with them. They are bulletproof and they are amazing. I use my GM screen every chance I get. The dice tower is amazing. And the craftsmanship and the workmanship is bar none. I say it's better than anything else out there on the market. So that being said, me and Scott becoming fast friends and really just hitting it off and getting a chance to meet him and his wife at GameholeCon this year was a blessing. One of those people that I truly feel better for knowing, and I think he makes the world a better place. Thane, as the GM, was he was so much fun. He wasn't. I mean, he didn't try to sell me on this game. He didn't try, and he didn't know I was a YouTuber until after. Nobody said anything to him. Clovis didn't say anything. Scott didn't say anything. And I think it was Jeremy. Nobody said anything. We just sat down and we played a game. He introduced himself. He said, he did say, "Hey, I'm the co-writer of this. I helped create it with Derek White." He said Derek's running around. He couldn't be here tonight. But I wanted to run you guys through this. And so I don't know how he knows. Well, I know how he knows Scott from Arcanea's workshop. Scott made some dice boxes for him that had an inlay that said DarkSpace in black. Beautiful. In fact, I got to see if I can get one of those. I'll buy it, of course, but I really liked it. It looks so sharp. I love the layout of the book. I love the art in the book. There's not a ton of art, but what art is there is really good. And I believe Thane did a lot of it. Let's see, I'm a quarter of almost halfway through the book, and there's a piece of art. And then, of course, you saw the archetypes. There's a couple pictures of the archetypes. Yeah, the charming archetype, you know. So, charming archetype, um, the wise archetype. So, I mean, the art is not, the clever archetype, I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm gushing over this, but I am gushing over it. I had a blast. I am so happy that this is going to make me pick up a copy of Shadowdark. I know that's what's going to happen because I'm going to want the core rules of Shadowdark. And this is something that I would GM this. I would run this and I would play this because he sold me on the game that much. I enjoyed it that much. And again, like I said, 80% game mechanics, 20% GM. No game, I don't care how good it is going to jump off the shelf and run itself. And if you have a decent GM, if you're a new GM, if you've never GM'd before, or maybe you've only GM D&D or Pathfinder, give this a try. You might find the streamlined rules, the faster mechanics may be your jam, and it may be a game that you enjoy, and you don't have to put as much effort into it. This is, I don't want to say a beer and pretzels game because I think you could run a full-on campaign with this, but you could also, as was evident by GameholeCon, you could sit down at the table with 4 of your friends, or 5 or 6, depending how big your group is, and you could hit the random tables and you could have an adventure in 10 minutes. And that's exactly what we did. So that is a testament to how streamlined and how concise the mechanics were. Now, some would say, "Oh, well, he's the GM, he's the writer, he knew everything." He did. But I will tell you this, he was looking in the book, he was referencing, as a good GM should do, and he was being a storyteller and facilitating a adventure with us as the players, and we all had a good time. So that's a testament to how well the rules are, and probably a testament to how good Shadowdark is. I've heard a lot of positive things about Shadowdark. Again, I'm not a big OSR fan, so kind of when the timing fell through with me and the young lady from Shadowdark to try and do the interview, I wasn't too terribly upset because, again, I'm not a big D&D or OSR fan, so didn't really care. And so I just kind of let it fall through the cracks, and I moved on. But I'm gonna say, I think this is coming to Kickstarter. I should have looked before I went, or maybe it's already on Kickstarter. Uh, Oh, it's a third-party license. Okay, so DarkSpace is an independent product published under the Shadowdark RPG third-party license and is not affiliated with the Arcane Library. That's the people behind Shadowdark. It is copyright limited liability corporation Shadowdark RPG copyrighted 2023, the Arcane Library. DarkSpace third-party license permission is granted to publish third-party materials stating compatibility with DarkSpace and adherence with the terms of the Shadowdark RPG third-party license. DarkSpace RPG 2025 DMing the World Press. So there you go. So you want to make your own spin-off from this, your own alien races or whatever. Follow the gaming license for DarkSpace, and you can make your own. But I'm really, really, really impressed with this. And Thane, thank you so much for gifting me this copy. I sorry it took me 3 weeks to get a review down. My life is chaotic. If you don't know, you can talk to the guys. They all know my story. Or watch my channel. Hey, and subscribe, like and subscribe. Shameless plug. You'll learn a lot about me. But I'm gonna say thank you, to Thane and Derek for making such a cool little game that I thoroughly enjoyed, and I can't wait to play it again. Uh, this is one I honestly I want to try and GM it. I think it would be a fun game to GM, to use those random charts and make a quick adventure, like a one shot with some players, and knock it out of the park. I think it would be a lot of fun. So I hope you've enjoyed this quick look at DarkSpace. Go support an indie publisher, GMing the world, and throw them a couple bucks, because this is a cool product and I think you'll thoroughly enjoy it. Take it from Mr. Mean. It's a buy. Uh, I don't know what else to tell you except peace and hair grease. Like and subscribe. Support me on Ko-Fi. Support me on Patreon if that's your jam. Uh, Hit me up on my Discord. There'll be links in the doobly-doo. As always, peace and hair grease. And remember, Mr. Mean says, be nice. Take care, everybody. Thane, thank you again, buddy.